It's that time of year again, the time when fear leaves the ocean and heads into your living room. Nature's deadliest killing machines, as you've never seen them before. It's Shark Month, and this time, it's personal.
I don't think you have anything to worry about. Some of that footage seems a little fake. Dear Tim and Moby, what is an energy pyramid? Your friend, Nicole. I don't think she means that pyramid. The energy pyramid is a model for how energy spreads through an ecosystem. You remember food chains, right? Why are you being so literal today? Okay, the food chain describes how organisms in an ecosystem are linked together by what they eat. At the bottom are producers. On land, that includes plants from moss and grass to shrubs and trees. The producers are eaten by primary consumers. These are herbivores, or plant eaters. In turn, the primary consumers are eaten by secondary consumers. These are carnivores, or meat eaters. This continues until you reach the animals at the top of the food chain, which have no natural enemies. Sharks are at the top of the marine food chain. Bears might be a better example here. Meanwhile, decomposers, like bacteria and fungi, break down dead animal and plant matter. This recycles nutrients back into the ecosystem. Food chains usually combine to form food webs made of many interconnected and overlapping chains. But let's back up for a sec and ask why animals eat in the first place. Well, yes, leaves, grasshoppers, and snakes are delicious in certain cultures, I guess. But that's not it. Animals eat to gain energy. It all starts with producers. They create all of the usable energy in an ecosystem, and that's why they're called producers. Through the process of photosynthesis, they convert the sun's light energy into chemical energy, specifically a simple sugar called glucose. Glucose is the fuel that drives all living organisms. Plants use up most of the glucose they make to grow and reproduce, but they store a little bit of it in their bodies. So when a rabbit eats a plant, he's only getting a small fraction of the energy the plant got from the sun. The rabbit, in turn, uses up most of that energy to do things like breathe, keep warm, move around, and make baby rabbits. So, if a fox comes along and eats that rabbit, he's only getting a teeny tiny fraction of the energy that was first absorbed by the plants. Get it? Right. All of the energy in an ecosystem ultimately comes from the sun. And since the amount of energy decreases as it travels up the food chain, it can be represented as a pyramid. In general, each level of the pyramid gets 10 times less energy than the level below it. So, let's say you've got a square meter of forest. Every year, the plants growing in that little patch produce 10,000 calories. That's a unit of energy. Now, let's say herbivores consume those 10,000 calories. They burn 9,000 calories and store 1,000 in their bodies. So, for their predators, that square meter of forest produces only 1,000 calories of energy per year. That means there are going to be way fewer snakes and raccoons than rabbits and grasshoppers. See where this is going? Right. If the carnivores eat all of the primary consumers, they'll gain 1,000 calories of energy. They'll use up 900 calories and store 100 in their bodies. So, for the top predators, that square meter of forest only yields 100 calories per year. Oh, come on, sharks aren't part of the equation here. That's better. Anyway, since the bears and hawks have a fairly limited number of calories to live on, the ecosystem just can't support that many of them. So, in most cases, as energy decreases up the food chain, so does biomass, the combined mass of all the organisms. A small meadow might support 10,000 grasshoppers, 100 snakes, and only 1 or 2 hawks. Great, now let's get back to Shark Month. I think there's a special coming up about a shark who lent out money at a very high interest. Who could that be? You know, there was something fishy